I'm Tom, and I've been drinking whiskey for a long time. I know what I like, and I know what I don't. I know what I'm willing to spend my money on, and what I think is a waste. My sister Patsy has never agreed with any of that. This is Whiskey Face, where I pick the whiskey.
Oh, yuck!
And Patsy tells me exactly what she thinks of it. Welcome to Whiskey Face. Today we're gonna have a single barrel bourbon that honors the man who changed bourbon, Elmer T. So you may remember when we did Blanton's a couple episodes ago, Elmer T. was the Master Distiller at Buffalo Trace Distillery. It was called George Stagg at the time. And in 1984, he created Blanton's, which was the first single barrel bourbon. And is actually credited with reviving the bourbon market by creating this new concept.
Oh.
So Buffalo Trace decided they would honor him by creating the Elmer T. The Elmer Lee is a single barrel, just like Blanton's. And after he retired, Elmer came back to the distillery and would still pick the bottles until he ultimately died in 2013. So it's the same mash bill as Blanton's. You may remember that's one of the high rye, so about 12 to 15% rye in addition to the corn and barley. And it's aged similarly, and it's a single barrel like Blanton's. The difference is really in how they're aged.
Okay.
So again, if you remember back a couple weeks ago, all Blanton's is aged in Warehouse H, which is a metal rickhouse. And that means the temperatures swing much more significantly than they would in the brick and wood rickhouses where we get Elmer T.
Do they still make this today, even though he died?
They do. It is still bottled today. I would say you might find some other differences. People would say would be the aging and how long it's aged. Buffalo Trace doesn't release age statements for either Blanton's or Elmer T. And so there's speculation that today they are aged roughly the same amount of time because there's such demand. But originally this was aged longer. It may still be. So we would originally have looked at Blanton's to have been aged somewhere around 6 years probably, and this could have been aged somewhere around 9, maybe more years. But again, speculation today that because there's such demand for Elmer T. it is a more prized bottle, that it may be aged closer to 6 years now.
I remember that the Blanton's wasn't quite as strong smelling as what we had smelled prior. Not as mellow as the one we did last time. But this one is strong smelling.
Which is interesting because Blanton's is actually a 93% or 93 ABV proof, and Elmer T. is bottled at 90. So not a huge difference, but Elmer T. has 3% or 3 ABV less proof than Blanton's does.
Okay.
So they should smell roughly the same.
I don't feel like they did, but this is my not knowing what I'm doing.
So we'll see. The Glencairn glass is designed to sort of concentrate that like a tulip glass.
I don't enjoy that.
So you may find if you do your drive-by that it's not as strong.
It's still strong. Maybe I'm getting a little more sensitive on the smelling. Because I would say this almost is a little florally smelling.
I could see that. I get some honey on it.
Okay.
And maybe like not the pecan of a pecan brittle, but like a toffee type, the sugary candy that goes around a brittle.
I was happy I got to a little bit florally.
And then a little bit of the
More
wood.
than just gasoline.
I think it's very easy to drink, particularly for a high rye.
Do you taste a difference between this and Blanton's? I mean, I know it's been a while, but...
Yeah, I think they're both very easy to drink. I think we've discussed off camera, but that when you have the same general ingredients, you're gonna get a lot of the same flavors. Blanton's, because it interacts with the wood more, is probably gonna have more of the wood's influence on it than Elmer will, because Blanton's is going in and out with the temperature changes much more than Elmer is. So.
Well, and this one is more honey colored.
It is a little lighter color, I think,
Yeah.
too. Which perhaps, again, is that interaction with the wood. The wood provides all of the color.
Okay.
So I just tasted it, and I'm going to taste it one more time because I got distracted.
No.
I know, pity me. So again, I'm going to get probably some of the baking spices, not strong spice in it to me, particularly not for a rye. And I think there's a little bit of that sweetness coming through, maybe like a caramel, a vanilla. And so I think it's very, very drinkable, which is one of the reasons it's a high demand bottle.
We did say that most of them should have a caramel vanilla undertone, right?
Right.
I'm
You're going to hear those tones, those tastes a lot. Your good memory.
I'm learning. I'm not liking, but I'm learning. Oh, no.
You have to try it a second time, remember?
Wow, that one burns. No, that did not make the back of my tongue. Nope. I'm not exactly sure how it got from the front of the mouth down the throat, but that's just gone, and I'm glad.
Well, let's give it one more try.
Wow, you can't even inhale.
I don't know how we have such different experiences.
It burns when you inhale. Oh my. Okay. Oh, yuck!
Okay.
I don't even know what that tastes like.
I think
But no.
the oh yuck, in addition to the recoiling, maybe, tells us we don't have to think hard on this one. We're just going to go to a 5. That's not happening.
That Blanton's was not that bad.
Um,
So I'm so sorry, sir. Hate to speak bad of the dead, but no.
He's in the Bourbon Hall of Fame.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, so that was a 5.
That
then,
burns.
Not happening. And
Oh,
we'll see
yuck.
if we can do better in the redemption round. For our redemption rounds today, we are going to go back to the old-fashioned. So I have to say to start, the idea of putting this in a cocktail really hurts my soul.
Seriously?
Yes,
You
because
would drink that straight?
this was meant to be drunk either neat or maybe with a little water or a cube.
That will put hair on your chest.
We're trying to make Patsy like it. So we are going to mix it. We're going to do a tribute old fashioned, which is a very simple old fashioned. So old fashions typically, as I've said in episode 1, are made with sugar cubes, and a tribute is made with sugar cubes. And if you look at this, you'll see it's crushed, because to save us a little bit of time, I have already mixed the Angostura bitters and the sugar together. And that's pretty much what we're going to have. I'm going to get an ice cube here in a second, and then put the whiskey in, stir it up, and add a cherry, and we'll be done. So it's a very basic cocktail. Essentially, we're just adding sweet.
Is that so you try to
give you
minimize how much you change it because it's offensive that you're
yes.
doing this?
So you're still going to have the flavors of the whiskey, but the sweetness might take some of the spice away, so it's more drinkable. So give me a second, I'll get a piece of ice. We're going to use 2 ounces of the Elmer T. We're going to pour it over the ice and then stir. Now, here's the thing, in a tribute, we're not going to stir it as much as you might think. So there's probably still going to be some sugar on the bottom. And you'll see in next week's episode, we're going to do a another old fashioned, and I'll stir it more. And I used a sugar cube, probably unfairly here, that has cinnamon in it because I like them. And that will also have some impact on the flavor, obviously. We'll get that. And now we'll let you go.
I feel like this is a fancier glass, too. Was that just because you grabbed a fancier glass?
It is, yes.
Okay.
I just grabbed a different glass today because I didn't want to use this one for this.
Okay. It made the smell better.
Okay.
It took some of the fumes down.
And the sugar should do that.
I know the
the
glass
dilution.
changes it some. It's better. Oh, and it hits. It doesn't hit. Oh, feel my esophagus.
It's a pretty,
I'm aware of it.
pretty positive,
Oh, it's
though.
hitting.
It's a little delayed reaction.
But okay, so
try again and
it
see.
didn't hit and burn my. I didn't get that instant burn.
Yeah.
And so I was able to swallow it. I'm surprised you didn't wear the first one. But the burn hits deeper. Like, I feel it. I'm
Okay.
aware of it.
So I don't think we got to the...
It's better. I don't like it. Because I don't like how it still burns.
So I'm going to give it a try and then I'll rate her
flash
while
now.
she's recovering.
My neck's sweating. But it's not as bad as many of the ones we've drank. I would probably say of what we've drank for cocktails, I hate to tell you the one that you find offensive is the best one.
Wow, okay.
But of the cocktails we've had, I feel like that's the best of them so far.
Oh, well, that's going to change my rating then because
Okay, I still don't want to drink it.
I would have said questionable just based on the burning reaction in the face. But if you're telling me it's the best so far...
Well, that's a low bar.
But we have already rated you a manageable before.
I, if forced, could probably sip that.
And you think it's better than anything you've had so far?
Yes, because it doesn't taste like the lemony cough syrup
Okay.
of last time. That was drinkable because it was more watery tasting.
Okay. So this you actually maybe the flavor is
The
better.
flavor is better.
We got her to like something, or at least admit it's better.
The flavor is better in this one because it doesn't taste like cough syrup.
And I will say some of the cinnamon I get in here is because there's cinnamon in the sugar.
And
It's not just the cinnamon from the whiskey.
I have been drinking honey and lemon because I've had a cough and a cold, and that did taste like the cocktail you made me last week.
And I was telling her off camera again that whiskey is medicinal, right? It's how several distilleries stayed in business. During Prohibition, they made cough medicine, otherwise known as whiskey. So here's your cure, right here. But we're going to rate you, and we're going to rate you a 1 because it's the best she's had so far. And we'll congratulate Master Distiller Elmer T. Lee for making the best so far.
When we mix it with sugar, and that was a lot of sugar.
That was a lot of sugar.
You mix it with a lot of sugar.
So typically one sugar cube, but the cinnamon sugar cubes I use are pretty thin, so I used 2, little more sugar probably than most people would put in there. But it helped, so we're good. So next time on Whiskey Face, she is going to get to try another single malt, but this one is not from Scotland, it's from New Mexico. So join us then and you'll see how an American single malt works for Patsy. In the meantime, you can check out our merch website on the screen below, or check out Patsy's Gratitude Radio, fourth Wednesday of the month.
of the month. Shift happens on Michelle in the Middle, and you can find that on Syndicate Empire.
Till then, take care.